Gospel Community Leaders, this is our final question set discussion guide of the Esther series. It's been great going through the book of Esther. I think we've all learned a lot as we've seen the gospel applied to us through this story. And so it's been fantastic. Today or this week, actually, God wins in every circumstance, situation, through all people groups, in all places, in success and failures, and the ups and downs of life. God wins. He always wins. And so that's encouraging. That's comforting because He's working for the good and for the best of His kids. And so the fact that He always wins is very, very good news. This week, two announcements. One, pray for the team that's leaving for Haiti. You might even take some time in your group to do that. Their names are listed in there. They leave Saturday morning for a one-week trip to Haiti. Also, and it's not listed in your study guide, but I'll link to it below, Young Life is having a yard sale this Saturday from 7 a.m. to 2 p.m., I think. But if you have anything you want to donate to the cause, then you need to get that done this week as soon as possible so they can have it there to sell. If you want to go by and support the cause by buying some stuff from the yard sale, you can do that too. Again, below in this post, there will be a link to that Young Life yard sale. Okay, so first things first this week, that question again, which is not required. Again, we want all other three questions, personal, community, and missional, to be asked. If you have extra time and you want to do the first things first question as well, you can. Only 3 verses this week, Esther chapter 10, but we want to expand that question if you do ask it, not just this Sunday, but throughout the whole series, the whole Esther series, just kind of a way of reflecting and looking back what has impacted you or stuck out to you during that series. So you'll see that there. The personal question has to do with already, not yet, this understanding of the gospel that says, what has already happened and what has not yet been fulfilled. In other words, the finished work on the cross, we look back to that. It's already been accomplished. Our salvation has been purchased through the finished work of Christ on the cross. We as Christians are already saved from our sin, from the punishment of sin, from the shackles of sin. We have been set free from that, but at the same time we are not yet completely made like Christ. And so there's a sanctification process that is carrying on. The world is not yet as it shall be in the end. There's a lot of promises that are either currently being fulfilled and therefore by definition not completely fulfilled. And there's other promises in the Bible as a result of the finished work of Christ on the cross, as a result of the gospel. There's other promises that are yet to be fulfilled at all. And so we look at the promises that already exist, that have already been accomplished as part of the gospel, and we look forward to the promises that have not yet been accomplished, but we know that they will be through the power of the gospel. And so the personal question has to do with this. It just kind of starts out, what's hopeless in your life right now? And that gives a chance for people to share. But then the gospel application comes in as we discuss amongst ourselves, how does an understanding of the gospel as already but not yet, how does this impact the hopelessness of, that we have at times, or the pain or suffering or whatever that we have at times. And so there's an appendix also attached to that question that you'll want to check out to help you articulate some of that already but not yet way of speaking about the gospel. So check that out. The community question, and this I want to encourage you to get out to your group either by text message or an email or post it on the city. But one thing that people can be thinking about mulling over as they prepare for a gospel community group is it'd be nice as a way of encouraging one another within community to start out this community question, by everyone sharing what their favorite promise is, or one of their favorite promises is, from the Bible, so that people can kind of come and we can just be reminded of who God is and what He promises us, and celebrate Him and worship Him in that. So text that, or email that, or post it to the city, so that at least that one question, that's something that discussion will be more robust if people have a little bit of time to think about that going into that question. And then I want to also, that question is going to also follow up with, how are we doing at proclaiming this to one another? And so just to get real, it's a chance for people to get honest and be open about this. How are we doing as a gospel community group? How are you doing individually at proclaiming the promises of God, at proclaiming the gospel into each other's lives? And how are we going to get better at that? And then we're going to actually stop and pray that we will be better at that our gospel communities will truly be a place that in success and in failings and in good times and in bad, we're ready not just to encourage one another by serving good food, or encourage one another by laughing together and telling good stories, or talking about whatever things outside of maybe the very specific promises of God, although those things are helpful for us to just gather and to just be together. But are we actually taking time to specifically and in particular remind each other of the promises of God as they apply to our lives? And so do we know them that well? Do we own them that well, that we are naturally reminding each other of them and speaking of them to one another for the glory of God and for the building up of the gospel community group and our brothers and sisters in Christ? So go there. And then the missional question, which is what we'll wrap up with, that's going to just speak into the fact that God's winning, the fact that God wins at everything. This is to be proclaimed to everyone. So God winning at everything should be proclaimed to everyone, and you'll see how the questions fleshed out there. So if you have already determined a specific mission, then you talk about that question in light of that specific mission. If you are in one of the phases, because we're getting back to this discussion again of the phases towards being a gospel community group on a specific mission, and so as you discuss this through, you can apply that question at whatever place you're at in that discussion. That's it for this week. Super excited for you all, praying for you all. If you need anything, let me know. Love each of you, and I hope everything goes great for you all this week.